Hey crafty cuties! Welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you how to bring my blueprint ideas to life. We have 10 different page ideas, so let's get right into it. We are going to get started with the Trapper Keeper folder, and I want my final pages to be 5 inches by 7.5 inches, but I'm starting with a piece that is 11 inches by 12 inches. So when we fold our piece in half, we will have a piece that's 5.5 inches, and we're gonna score half an inch in for each piece. So if you don't have a scoreboard, just take a ruler and you will mark at half an inch in on each side, and then go ahead and I'm gonna score mine. If you don't have a scoreboard, you would just fold it. And then I'm gonna turn around and do the same thing, half an inch in. And then since I want my pages to be 7.5 inches, I am going to go ahead and score at 7.5 inches. So you'll have like 3 or 4 inches left. Now what we're going to be left with is a few fold marks. If you see that, basically you can fold this up. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut and get rid of these pieces, the little, you'll see as I cut. Now you are left with something that looks like this, and what I like to do is fold that in half. Now I'm going to cut across diagonally, and I have it folded so I can cut both pages at the same diagonal. And I'm just going to use my paper trimmer here. So I have the very corner lined up with where the cut will start, and it's going to cut right across. You can use scissors for this as well. There we go. Then when we lift up like so, we will have our 2 pockets, and you're going to fold this piece over, and that's just going to kind of secure your pocket down. And if you want a little bit more slack, you can actually cut down the middle here like so. And then you can either add glue along this side, or you can use your sewing machine. I am going to attempt to make all of these page ideas a no-sew version. However, you can always replace a sewing machine right where the glue would go. I just want this to be something that every single person can do. And there we have kind of an upgraded version of a normal pocket. You can easily add lace or fabric along the tops for a nice added embellishment. And this is a very simple waterfall with 3 mats that flip up, and then a nice little hidden pocket right behind your waterfall pieces. And I'm going to have 3 flips. So I have 3 pieces that are 5 inches by 4 inches. And I have a separate piece that's the same exact size as one of my pages. I do like to add my waterfall pages to a separate piece, and I'll show you why at the end. Go ahead and take your 3 waterfall mats, and you're going to fold in at 1 inch. So when you have it folded in, you will have a 4 by 4 square. So go ahead and fold those all down, and we are going to use glue. Again, you can use your sewing machine and sew these onto a paper. And I do that very often, but this is a very easy way to do it. I'm going to start by lining this top one up at the very top here, kind of in the center, but you don't have to worry about getting it perfect. Just press that down until it's glued down. Then we're going to take the second one. You want to line the bottom one up by lining the bottom up to the bottom of your page and pressing that down. And then you can take your middle waterfall mat and basically just center it in between the 2, and then you're going to be set up with a pretty even waterfall that you didn't really have to measure out, and was super quick and easy. Okay, now that you have your waterfall page, I like to get the most out of my pages by adding as many pockets as possible. So I am actually going to add this on, And this is going to also be a pocket, so I'm just going to glue around the 3 edges. Do not add glue to the center. Once again, you can sew this in as well. I'll quit saying that for now, but just know you can always choose sewing over gluing if you have a sewing machine. And just go ahead and make sure that's glued down to the page, and then you have your waterfall page plus a secret little pocket right behind. This is a very fun diagonal double pocket that you can do on a single page or across a full page like this that you would fold into a signature. So you want a piece that's going to be the same width as your page. So I have a 5" by 3" piece. And what we are going to do is cut this diagonal. You can use your paper trimmer, or you can either just take your scissors and quickly just cut all the way across. You do not have to worry about it being super straight. Just get to that other corner. Just makes it really super quick. And I'm going to show you a second variation to this type of pocket because it looks much different when it is on a full page that's folded out. I'll show you what I mean. So you're going to go ahead and glue 1 down, and then we're going to basically take the second one and we're going to flip it over and put it down like so. Now if you wanted 2 printed pieces, then you would just need to use a bigger piece of paper. I personally like to utilize that 1 scrap. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down first. Just adding glue along the edges here. And again, you can decorate or embellish this with lace or buttons, anything that you would like. And then we'll go ahead and glue this one down, same way, but overlapping. And I think this is just a super fun type of pocket, a little bit different than a normal folder pocket. And you can see how it looks a little bit different when you do it across a full page before you fold it into your signature. It kind of gives a double pocket over on one side and then just a normal diagonal pocket on the other. I do prefer the single page diagonal pocket just because I think it's very interesting. You can add something to the front and to the back. This is a super fun little tag pocket that is a small page. You can decorate the outsides with pictures and then use the pockets for tags or journaling cards. So I'm using a piece that is 9.5 by 7.5. The size doesn't matter too much. You just want to make sure that when you fold it in half, that the width is not going to be any longer than the pages need to be for your book. So actually this is so simple. We're going to just fold it in half, hot dog style, and then we are going to attach the bottom, and you can use glue like so. I'm actually going to use a stapler because I'm going to add a little bit of detail, and I'm going to add some lace like so. So I'm going to go ahead and just staple all the way across to close off this bottom. We don't have to worry about closing off the top since we just folded it down. And I like the way that staples look personally, but sewing this on looks very nice as well. And then same with glue or hot glue. So once you have closed up the bottom, you're simply just going to fold it in half. This is one of the most simple page ideas you could ever do. Now you can use a hole or a paper punch if you have one to make a little notch like so. Or you can cut a little slit. You don't have to, but it's kind of a nice little indicator that it's a pocket. And then you can go ahead and stick some tags or journaling cards into your pockets like so. I wanted to show you one quick embellishing addition that you can do. You can take, if you have little paper clips, you can add beads. There are beads that come in this kit, and you can simply add them to the bottom of your lace and have them peek out the bottom of your journal with beads on them. But I also included some eye pins in the kit with your DIY Chunky Charm kit. And if you did not end up using yours for a charm, you can string some beads on, and then you can go ahead and trim off some of that, leaving about 1/4 of an inch or so. And you can just go ahead and kind of string it through a random spot on your lace, or just kind of poke it through one of the little openings. And then you can take some pliers and simply wrap the end of that wire and just bring it down, just twist it down until it meets itself again so that it's closed. And then you have some beads hanging, and this just looks super cute sticking out of the bottom of a journal. This is a super fun pull out folder, and you can keep the space blank for journaling or add a pocket for adding goodies, and then it just folds right back up. For this, you are going to need a piece that's about 12 inches by 3 inches. And I am just simply going to make 2 fold marks, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it in about 1.5 inches and then around 6.5 inches. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just like to have a smaller flap and then 2 bigger flaps. And we are just simply going to attach this smaller flap lined up to the edge of our paper like this, and you're only going to add glue to that small flap so that you will be left with a piece that pulls out like so. Now you can go ahead and leave this entire thing blank, or you can line it with another piece of paper to make a pocket, or you could use something like lace. I have this scrap fabric, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue it on like so, and then when you fold it back up, you will have a pocket. So with the fabric lining, we have a pocket back here, and then your piece pulls out and you have lots of room to add goodies. And this is kind of a fun take on a waterfall. It's a diagonal flap, and I've made pockets out of mine, but you can keep yours plain or add pockets if you wish. So I'm going to use 2 pieces. This one is 5 inches by 4 inches. They both are. And you're going to go ahead and fold in about 1 inch so that you are left with 4 by 4 squares. And this is really just kind of a fun take on a waterfall, but it's a little bit different. We're just going to add glue to one side. I'm going to fold that in, and I'm going to line it up down at the bottom all the way across. And then we'll take the other one and add glue to its little flap. And we're going to go ahead and line that up with our middle area here, the edge of our page. And then you have 2 really fun fold outs. And if you want, you can also add like little pockets and things. I actually really enjoy adding these clear pockets to embellish, and I like to just add them right on the front because they don't take away from the design, yet you can still utilize them as a pocket and then have the back for journaling. And I got these at the Target dollar spot, so they are available on Amazon as well. This is a super simple gatefold page with a pocket behind. It's very quick and easy, and it's just kind of a fun way to hide something away in your journal. I have some cardstock that's about 10 inches by 7 inches, and I am simply just going to fold one in, just about halfway. I'm not going to measure, and then I fold the other in, overlapping just a bit. And that's simply your gatefold. And then you can go ahead and attach this to your page. And as always, I like to have as many pockets as possible, so I'm just going to glue around the 3 edges like so. That way you have a top pocket. And this was just scrap paper, so it actually has a little bit of coffee down here. So I'm going to take some decorative paper scraps that I have and just go ahead and cover those up. Now, if you wanted, you could also make this into a thin little pocket and just glue around the edges once again so that you would have kind of a double pocket. But I'm just going to line mine like so. And then you have a nice little area for journaling and hiding away any little goodies that you want. So this just opens up like this, and then you have a nice big spot for a photo or journaling. And then of course you have your pocket right behind. Making a pocket out of journaling cards or vintage book pages is super easy, and it's also super functional as you can tuck things away easily. So you're going to take either a journaling card or a scrap piece of paper, and you can again take a punch if you would like to cut a little notch, or you can just cut one out, with scissors. And it's so simple. You're just going to glue it down like that, and then you have a nice little center pocket. But you can use this idea for so many different things, and I really honestly love using it for things like vintage pages. A lot of people don't want to cover up the cool designs on vintage pages, so I suggest making a little pocket out of it. And then you don't have to cover this up because you can use the pocket to, add your photos or your journaling for that spread. So I'm just going to glue all the way around the 3 edges, just like any pocket, and then add it to your page. And just for an embellishing idea, I absolutely love adding lace and buttons across across vintage pockets like this, and even pockets like this. It really adds a lot. And then just add 2 little buttons like so, and I think it really just finishes off your page so much. This is just yet again another variation of a pocket, and this one is actually a double pocket that's kind of like a wallet where it has 2 small pockets in the front and then 1 big pocket in the back. For this idea, you want 2 scrap pieces that are the same width as your page, yet you want one to be about double the size. And we are simply just going to make a double pocket. Now, while I've shown you easy pockets several times, this one's a little bit different because we're going to make it more of a wallet style. I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm actually going to use some lace to kind of show that this pocket is a double pocket rather than just a single pocket all the way across. These scissors don't work so great for this. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and glue. You could also use something like Distress ink just to show that there is a divider in between this one. So we're going to go ahead and glue this one down first, but I'm actually going to embellish the top of mine with a paper punch. You could add lace as well. And then go ahead and you're just gonna glue this first one on just like a normal pocket. You could get really creative with these. I've done things like added different punches in between the top pocket so that you can kind of see through the pockets. You could add little vellum windows. There's really a ton you can do with a pocket. And then we're gonna go ahead and glue this one on just like we would. However, we are also going to add glue down the center of this one so that it is divided and so that you have 2 smaller spots, which could be really great for, 2 smaller tags or something like that. And so I feel like this one, it looks like it's just one pocket, but really you have 3 different spots. So I have a bigger tag in the back pocket and then 2 smaller tags on the front pocket. Envelopes are a fun addition to any journal. These ones are so quick and easy. You don't need a punch board or a template, and you can use them on the page, or you can use them in the middle of your signatures to disguise your binding. You need a piece of paper that's about 10 inches by 6 inches. Or simply just going to fold this into 2 pieces. So you want to fold it up, and then you want to have your flap of the envelope down. And I don't measure this, it's just kind of by whatever you prefer. But I do like to have one bigger section for the main part of the envelope, and then I like my flap to have a little bit of space between the top of the envelope and the fold mark so that you can just easily get in there. And then you can go ahead and just add a line of glue going up the 2 sides like that. And then you can embellish the flap however you would like. I like adding lace and buttons. And it looks super finished off with some lace and a button in the middle. And then you can go ahead and add it to one of your pages sideways, or if you want to disguise your binding, you can use your envelope in the very middle of a signature, and you can do your binding in this middle portion here, and then you can do up your envelope, cut a slit right here, and then you can have this as a pocket, and your binding is hidden inside the pocket flap. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next. Bye!